I'm Jessica Lloyd-Smith and I run Modern ArtBuyer. When it comes to selecting a piece of artwork for your home, it's really important to trust your instincts and just go with a piece that you love. Most galleries will have curated their collection, so the quality control has already been put in place, and hopefully that means you can just really choose a piece that you're drawn to. Many people ask how they'll know whether a piece of work will go up in value over time. And the simple answer is no one will know. So unless you're dealing in the very top end of the art world, the best thing is not to buy a piece for an investment. Just buy it because you love it. You've got to live with it. And even if it does go up in value over time, you still have to have it in your house, in your home in the interim. So make sure that you choose something that you really connect to. If you're selecting art for a particular wall, have a think about how you want to feel in that space. Think about whether you want it to be a quiet space or a funky, lively space. And the artwork that you select should really enhance that ambience. In some instances, it's fantastic to have one really large piece on a wall. It'll really add drama and impact. But that's not always suitable for people's environments, people's space. So consider perhaps a small cluster of pieces, much smaller pieces, more affordable pieces, and they can again add a really dramatic effect to a wall. If you're going to go down that route, try and choose a consistent theme. So maybe there's a coherent colour that runs through it, maybe it's a particular artist who's produced all of the pieces, maybe they're all monochrome, and then be a bit more creative with the framing and the textures just to really have some fun with it, and you can get fantastic results. If you're planning to collect art, it's worth developing a relationship with decent framers. Most galleries or artists should be able to recommend a good framer to you in your local area. And obviously if it comes as a recommendation from a gallery or an artist, then it's likely to be a good one. They'll be able to give you advice, they'll be able to help you enhance your work with a fantastic frame and give you advice about the best way to store it and care for it. Once you get your piece back to your home, there are a few simple rules to follow to make sure that your work is hung and cared for properly. Don't hang the work too high or too low. Try to make sure that the centre of the piece is approximately eye level. And consider other pieces in the room when hanging your work to create a coherent overall effect. Use picture hooks where possible, and if you've got a much larger piece, use 2 picture hooks just to spread the load. It's worth noting that there are some fantastic videos online that help you to hang work properly, so if you're not sure, just Google it. Try to avoid hanging works in direct sunlight or directly under an artificial light, because they can mean that the work fades over time. Also, particularly for works on paper, avoid damp or humid areas such as bathrooms, because naturally this can affect the paper. And when cleaning glass, make sure that you use an anti-static cloth and spray the fluid onto the cloth, then onto the glass rather than directly onto the glass, to avoid the spray seeping down between the glass and the frame. It's a really good idea to rotate your collection every 6 months or so. The rotation limits any damage from either sun or artificial lights, and it helps you to appreciate the work all over again. You remember what you've got and you fall in love with the work all over again. If you need to put anything into storage, make sure that you pack it really, really carefully, possibly using the packaging that the artwork came in the first place. Pay particular attention to the corners of the work and cover it in bubble wrap or jiffy foam to make sure that it's watertight as well. Very importantly, make sure that your art is insured. Make sure that it's covered within your general insurance policy, or that you take out a specific policy to cover any particularly valuable pieces. If you're anything like me, your art collection will be your prized possession. So making sure that that insurance is in place just gives you that peace of mind.